Hey guys, it's Alexis, aka The Sloth Reader, and I'm here today to do another Favorites Friday video. Favorites Friday is just a series I do on my channel where every Friday I discuss a different topic that's not related to books, and I discuss my favorites within that topic. As always, I will link the playlist down below in case you want to check out any previous Favorites Fridays videos. This Friday, I'm going to be discussing my favorite Disney animated films. So, like, no surprise, like every other millennial, I watched a lot of Disney movies growing up. Especially, most of the ones I watched were kind of that, 80s and 90s era. That's pretty much all I did growing up, was just watch Disney animated movies on repeat. So that being said, I think I've seen all of the Disney animated films since 85 up until present, except for 5 of them maybe. Unfortunately, Moana being one of them. I still haven't seen Moana, which is a shame because I know so many people really love that one. So this is a list that was super difficult to narrow down, and I basically had to play Disney animated films Hunger Games to try and choose which ones I want to do, which ones I really felt like were my favorites. And so that's unfortunate because it means some of the ones that I really love, like Aladdin, really got cut out. So the first Disney film I'm going to mention is Mulan, and I honestly don't think that there's a girl my age who didn't grow up loving Mulan. And of course Mulan is based off of an old Chinese ballad, I want to remember, an old Chinese story, where basically in the movie Mulan is the only daughter of a family, and and she's kind of seen as kind of a disappointment because she doesn't really act like all of the other ladies in her village. She's not seeking out how to get married and be a good daughter. And so basically her dad is called away to war, and she takes his place. She dresses up as a boy and takes his place. And it's kind of about her trying to blend in with all of these other guys and trying to act like a man, all the while, trying to really be honestly the best soldier she can, trying to kind of exceed the expectations that everyone around her has for her, including herself, while the Huns are attacking China and her platoon is kind of responsible for handling that. Which, that description of Mulan, which while true, makes it sound so different than it actually is. But I love Mulan. Mulan is one of those movies that I watch time and time again. It still makes me laugh. Eddie Murphy's Mushu is still just hysterical to me. I would be lying if I said 8-year-old me didn't have a massive crush on Shang growing up. Like 7-year-old me, that was my dream guy, no kidding. But I just love Mulan. I think the Mulan character is such an inspiration for young girls, and she definitely was for me growing up. I wanted to be cool and interesting and funny like Mulan is. But I also just think a lot of the storytelling in the Mulan movie is really good. I think a lot of the little character nuances about Mulan's character are really fascinating. Stuff that you don't really notice until you're like me and you're watching it as a 20-year-old. So, but I definitely love Mulan. Highly, highly recommend it. It's definitely one of my favorites. The next one I'm going to mention is a little bit of an upset. And that is because it's a sequel. And I know that sequels are never considered better than the first, but I am so much more sentimentally attached to the second one. And the movie I'm talking about is The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride. Now don't get me wrong, I'm also a huge fan of the original Lion King. I still will watch that one on its own completely, but The Lion King 2 was... I didn't own The Lion King 1 growing up, I only had The Lion King 2, so that was the one that I watched at least once a week. I'm so emotionally attached to the second one. And basically the first one, I'm sure you guys know, is like Hamlet but with lions. Well, the second one is basically Romeo and Juliet with lions, which is funny because as an adult I really don't like the Romeo and Juliet storyline at all, but I love The Lion King 2 so much. And I do, I don't know why, I just absolutely adore The Lion King 2 so much. Both Lion Kings I think have beautiful music. I think the music in both of them are really, really fantastic. I think the acting, especially in that first one, is so amazing. Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, Jeremy Irons, fantastic cast. But yeah, anyway, so I mean, technically you could say The Lion King and The Lion King 2 both kind of occupy this spot on my list, but I just absolutely love The Lion King and The Lion King 2 so much, but I just love The Lion King 2 because of how sentimental it is to me, because I had like 5 movies I watched every night as a kid, or like once a week as a kid, and that was one of them. And I think there's another one on this list that was one of those 5 movies that I always watched. But yeah, I just really love The Lion King 2. The next one I'm going to mention is one I feel like doesn't get put on people's favorites list as much as it should, but it's one of my personal favorites, and that is Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And now I haven't read The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I haven't read the book by Victor Hugo. They're very different, I know. But my personal attachment to this one is purely just I love the movie so much, and I love so much of the music in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So much of the music is so good. Like the song that Esmeralda sings in the church, which I'm blanking on right now, I can't remember what it's called. That's a very beautiful song. I love bad guy songs, so like Be Prepared is my favorite song from The Lion King. My favorite song from The Little Mermaid is Poor Unfortunate Souls. I love bad guy songs. Like, they're usually my favorite. 9 times out of 10 they're my favorite. And it's no surprise that my favorite song from The Hunchback of Notre Dame is Hellfire, which is the song that Judge Frollo sings. And that's just because it's super intense of a song, but I just love villain songs. Like, I think every villain should break out in a song and dance, in my opinion. That was one I don't think I really watched as a kid. I don't think I really got into it until I went to Disney one time, and I like bought a CD that was like Best Disney Songs, and I think it had The Bells of Notre Dame on it, which is the opening song, and I listened to it and I was like, wow. I was like, I need to go back and rewatch this movie, I said, because I think it's so much better than I'm remembering it as. And as an adult, I found that to be true. The music is just really fantastic in it. And let's be honest, 75% of why we watch Disney movies is for the music. The next one I'm going to mention is Hercules. And there's kind of just the main reason I love Hercules is because I love Greek mythology so much. And obviously Disney's Hercules is very different from the original Greek myth. But that's Disney's forte, right? They just really warp the story so it's kid-friendly. But I love Hercules. I like a lot of the music from Hercules. What is it? I Am On My Way. The song he sings when he's younger. I really like. I love I Won't Say I'm in Love. I love Megara, or Meg, as a character. She's so funny. And I just thought she was super cool when I was a kid. I thought she was thought she was awesome, and she's such a like classic film noir, like femme fatale, which I realized like as an adult, but I just thought she was hilarious. But she also was kind of very much like, I don't need no man. But I love Meg, and I just love Hades too as a villain. I think the Hades character is so good. And it's so funny, and pain and panic, and how they're always getting into nonsense. But yeah, Hercules is one of those ones that's just, it's part of the humor is so funny to me because I know most of the stuff they're actually talking about. Like a lot of the jokes they make are about old Greek myths, and I know a lot of those myths, which I'm sure most of you probably do too, just from being in school. So like a lot of the humor is so funny to me, which is interesting because I'm like, how would a kid really know what half of this humor is referencing? But yeah, so I love Hercules so much. The next one I'm gonna mention is one of the ones that's not a musical per se. There's music in it, but it's not character singing, and that is Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is one of those shows that as like a 22-year-old I just genuinely still love. It still just gives me feelings. I have waited in line to see Stitch when I was in Disney, and it's just like, just Lilo and Stitch is just one of those shows that just makes me super emotional, and that's because I think that there are a lot of elements about it that are very different from a lot of the Disney movies that came out during the time, and a lot of the topics are like really serious, but I just love it so much because it's also really funny, and of course like Stitch is just such a good character. Oh yeah, I have Disney Funkos to match like everything. I keep forgetting to hold half of them up, but yeah, so I just love Lilo and Stitch, and Lilo and Stitch was one of those movies, one of those 5 movies I said that I had as a kid that I watched on repeat all the time. So Lilo and Stitch is super sentimental to me, and I love it so much. It's so good. And yeah, I just like, Lilo and Stitch is probably one of my top 5 favorite Disney movies. Like, I could watch Lilo and Stitch over and over and over again and never get tired of it. The next one I'm going to mention I think is the most recent Disney movie on this list, and it's one that I know is very, very well received, and that is Big Hero 6. I actually watched Big Hero 6 once and then like immediately bought it on DVD because I was like, I know that I love this movie. And I just really do, and let's be honest, part of the beauty of Big Hero 6 is just how great Baymax is, because Baymax is such a great character. But I also just really love all of the side characters in Big Hero 6. I really think they're all so, like, unique and interesting in their own way. I love Honey Lemon so much. Like, I just like that she's like a girly girl, but she likes science too. I love Hero. I think Hero's a really good main character. Again, I think Baymax is really adorable. I really love the animation in Big Hero 6 so much. It's so gorgeous, especially a lot of the scenes when they're, you know, flying around San Francisco. And a lot of the battle scenes too are animated really beautifully. So I really love the animation in Big Hero 6 a lot. And yeah, just Big Hero 6, I mean, with all of the movies on this list, it's a movie that I can watch over and over again, and it's still fun to me. I still laugh at the jokes. I still, you know, my heart still hurts at the really emotional moments, and that's why Disney is really good at their job. Like, really, really good at their job. The next one I'm going to mention is another one of those 5 movies that I watched all the time growing up, and that is the Aristocats. The Aristocats, I think, is the oldest Disney movie on this list. And the Aristocats, some of you may not know, but the Aristocats is just about cats. It's just about these 3 kittens who get separated from their mother when someone basically tries to kill them. It's really, really depressing. And they basically get saved by like this street cat named Thomas O'Malley, the alley cat. And basically like the mom comes to rescue them, and through that, like, it's really cute. And it kind of definitely has that old animation style where a lot of the background is like they don't really do the backgrounds, or it's drawn with very sketchy. This animation style is very much like the 101 Dalmatians movie. But I just love the Aristocats so much, and part of it is just because, one, I love cats, B does not follow 1, and 2 is just that I watched it all the time growing up, and so like it's a very sentimental movie to me because I'll watch it and I'll just be like, oh, everybody wants to be a cat because a cat's the only cat who knows where it's at. It's just so good. The Aristocats is so good. If you haven't seen it, it's cute. You should watch it, especially if you like cats. The final Disney movie I'm going to mention is the Disney movie that I consider to be my favorite Disney movie. And it's surprisingly not one of the ones I watched as a kid. It's one of the more recent Disney movies, but I just can't help it. I love it so much, and that is Tangled, which of course is the story of Rapunzel, and I just love it so much. I just think Rapunzel is such a good character. I think Mother Gothel, the villain, is such a good villain. I think a lot of the adventure stuff that happens is so much fun. I love Flynn Rider, who is the love interest. I love that he's not a Disney prince. He's, you know, very much like, which is a trend I really like a lot in like more of the more recent Disney stuff, is that the love interests aren't princes, but Flynn is definitely not a prince. He dreams of being one, but he's not. There's not a ton of music in Tangled, but the songs that are there I really, really love. I Can See the Light, which is kind of the duet song between Flynn and Rapunzel, is beautiful. I love Mother Gothel's villain song, which is Mother Knows Best. I love the song she does in the inn called I Have a Dream, where it's basically just like I won't spoil it, but it's good. But I just love Tangled so much. I have my Rapunzel Funko over here. Again, I've forgotten to hold up like half of them because I have Funkos for all my favorite Disney movies, so oops. But yeah, I really, really love Tangled. It's my favorite Disney movie. I haven't watched even the sentimental ones I have as a kid. I still don't find myself loving as much as I love Tangled. And yeah, I just love Tangled so much. I love Tangled Ever After, which is the little short that takes place after the events of the movie, which is really, really cute and I love, and it still gives me feels, and it's like 3 minutes long, but it still gives me feels. But yeah, so Tangled is by far my favorite Disney movie. I have, like I said, I've seen pretty much every Disney movie except for like 5 since like 1985. So, I mean, I have a lot, but I still put Tangled above all the rest. I just love it so much. Alright guys, so that was a list of, I believe, my 8 favorite Disney movies. But you guys should let me know down below what's your favorite Disney movie. Or if you want to talk to me about any of my favorites, you can definitely do that. And I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!